guys. Good morning. It's nice to see you all. I'm usually sitting in the back of the class, so I don't see your faces. So I want to start by telling you guys, when I was a child, I thought I had superpowers, specifically psychic powers. When I would think of a song or hum a song, 30 seconds later, when I would turn on the radio, that song would be playing. Now, obviously, this is just by chance. I didn't actually know the song was going to be on the radio. But this is an example of a misunderstanding about these kinds of things. So the radio station plays songs, just like 30 of the same songs. So I thought that I was conjuring up what song was going to play. But another example of something like this is we all use Facebook, right? We're all online, use social media. When we're scrolling, we might see an ad for a t-shirt that says, "Only legends are born in the month of October, love their grandma, and watch The Walking Dead." This isn't by chance. This is something called targeted advertising. And it's one of the most pervasive forms of marketing today. As someone who grew up online, I'm very familiar with this kind of thing. So almost every ad we see online is a targeted ad. And you might ask yourself, what is a targeted ad? Well, I'd first like to give you a background and history of targeted advertising, as well as go over a couple methods advertisers and websites use to get this information, such as cookies and social media profiles. So let's first tackle the question, what is targeted advertising? Well, it's been around longer than we think. Billboards and local TV ads were some of the first forms of targeted advertising. So for example, Lucky Strike cigarettes back in the day used to advertise to women and say, if you smoke our cigarettes, it'll help you lose weight and you'll be more attractive and you can find a husband or partner. 7-Up used to advertise to young people by having a baby drinking a bottle of 7-Up, and it said, there's a reason our consumers are so young. So obviously these are the first forms of using demographics to advertise to people. They used age and people's gender, but they had to take a more broad approach. So then we get to the advent of the internet, and I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, I'm barely old enough, but there used to be HTML pages or GeoCity pages where there would be banner ads, and they would just advertise things and they didn't have a link. It would just say, go to this website, type it in, Ask Jeeves or something back then. So the advent of the internet led to hyperlinks, and so you would click on these banner ads and they would go to the website or advertiser that was using the ad. This then led to these advertisers and websites being able to track clicks and what search engine you used to click on this link, what website you were on, and how likely you were to purchase a product after you went to the website. And all this really started, the internet was the big genesis of online marketing, obviously. So in 2000, the presidential election between George Bush and Al Gore was a close one, and it was a big controversy. So the Help America Vote Act was legislation that introduced the ability for political campaigns. The act, the Help America Vote Act, forced states to upload information to an online database, and this was voter information such as addresses, emails, any other broad information like that. And Etan Hirsch stated that the Help America Vote Act was the genesis of modern user targeting. And this act led to how we know targeted advertising today. We use more specific information, and we get closer and closer from targeting broad audiences to smaller ones. So now that we have established what targeted advertising is, I want to talk about cookies. And cookies are not just what I need to lay off of. Cookies are small text files on your web browser. So essentially, let's say you use a website like Google. Google will plant cookies, or with your permission, plant cookies on your browser, and then as you browse the internet, it'll track what searches you do, what websites you click on, and things of that nature. They also, on websites, they help store usernames, passwords, shopping carts. Maybe you went online and you were shopping at Urban Outfitters, and then you didn't log in or anything, but you came back and all your stuff was still in the cart. That's cookies at work. So these are called first-party cookies. So these are cookies from domains and websites that you are actively using. Third-party cookies, University of Wisconsin empirical study defined third-party cookies as cookies placed by a domain other than shown in the address bar. So what is this? If you were to look at your cookies in your browser, you might see web addresses that are just letters, stuff you don't recognize. These are oftentimes data brokerage firms, online advertisers, and tracking applications. These are then, usually what happens is the website will sell their information to advertisers, and then they will show you ads from the website and broadcast them directly to you based on the cookies. So, now that we know what cookies are, along with cookies, we volunteer info on social media platforms. Now, social media platforms aren't necessarily in the background. They just use the information you give them, the stuff you like, your interests, who you're friends with. This is all information that helps advertisers specifically target you for their ads. And sometimes the advertisers are our friends. So sometimes they'll show you ads based on who your friends are, what they like, trying to find a common interest. So with that said, our friends also sometimes are directly the advertisers. So I don't know if you've seen or heard of multi-level marketing, but these are things like Mary Kay, It Works. Maybe you, let's say Noah posts a picture on Instagram and someone likes his Carhartt hoodie and they're like, wow, we love that. Would you like to collab? These are oftentimes like online boutiques that are trying to get you to sell their clothing. So I'll wrap up. So online targeted advertising is something that seems scary. There is a huge issue with privacy now and how we all feel about this thing, but I want to clarify that it is a trade-off that is very important. So the ease of use of the internet is partially due to online targeted advertising and cookies. So it is important we recognize these methods and practices websites, apps, and advertisers use for targeted advertising. Thank you.